Hello there, and welcome to this wee demonstration. As you can see, I've got a solar generator next to me. Allpowers sent it up to test. It's the Allpowers R600. Now, as some of you all know, I've not been very lucky with these solar generators. In the past, two that I've bought have went down on me. They probably sent it to the right guy to test, because you're going to get an honest appraisal of this bit of kit. Allpowers will be shaking now when I've just said that. Don't worry, come on, give me a chance. It'll probably come out alright. Anyway, I've done a fair bit of research on the unit. Had a look at what other people have made of it. I've had it out once or twice. Nothing conclusive. There was one guy on the internet. He was technically minded. He took the unit to bits. I know about that much about electronics, a wee bit, and that was for 50 years ago. And I was quite impressed. And this guy was impressed. So what I'll do is we'll zoom in and we'll have a look at the unit. It's going to be interesting. Okay. First thing you have a look at is a carrying handle. Nice carrying handle, and it's not a bad weight. It's easy to carry. Now, let's have a look at how you charge it. This flap comes up in the bottom here. I've not got nails. And for charging, you use this port here right off the mains. You just plug it in like there's no adapter in between this and the mains. It's just a cable, like the back of a kettle. In fact, a kettle one would probably fit that. And they say it's fast charging. Now, I've tried that. It is fast charging. There's this unit holds just under 300 watts. And you can charge that in an hour. Now that is fast, definitely fast. The unit has iron phosphate lithium batteries. Now they will last longer. Normally your units stop working when it's down to about 30%. I've saw a test where these ones go right down to 10%, so you'll get a longer run with the lithium iron phosphate. Also, they're rated for 3,600 charges. You know, a normal lithium iron battery will maybe do 1,200–1,400. So it's a much better battery, much superior battery. Reset button. This is rated to handle 600 watts, but in reality it'll do nearer 12. But instead of, if you overpower it, instead of the thing blowing an internal unit, as has happened to me in the past, this cuts itself off and you just reset it. Over here we have the charging port for the solar panels. As you see, it's their own, well, I'm saying I've never saw it before. It works, I believe. I would rather there was an Anderson port in there, and so far that's the only thing that I disagree with the unit, and I've had a good look round it. It would be better if it was an Anderson port. Anyway, let's go on with it. On the top, you've got the charger, the Wi-Fi charger. Now, that's for your phones. I've never done that before. And I just dropped my phone on top, switched it on, hit this button down here, and my phone came alive. And it was a very quick charge. I hate having to plug my phone in to the adapter. It's fiddly, and I'm always worried that I damaged something. I have in the past, but no more. I actually leave this in the corner of the living room and charge my phone on it in the past. Okay, you're starting to see I like it. Right, let's look at the front end. What do we have here? This button switches it on. This gives you a wee light. You like that? Oh, put that off, it's too bright. Once the unit's activated, by pressing this button, your DC outputs come alive. Immediately you can see you have two C ports. Now, C seems to be in everything, and I'm very happy with that. I've got about 4 or 5 different cables lying there. For my time we're using rechargeable stuff, and I'm glad the C port is becoming the standard for everything now. That's a good thing. And underneath you've got a couple of USB cable outputs, again fantastic. With them you can connect oodles and oodles of things. Over here, pressing this button, you have your 240 volt output, or if you were in Europe or the US of A, it would be a 110 volt output. But we've got two 240 volt outlets covered. Very useful. You can run a lot of my gear, my heavier gear, is actually all chargeable stuff, and they've got their separate chargers, you know, like drills and sanders and that. I'll be able to do it, charge them with this, and also one of my older computers and 1 or 2 other things. And I might be able to plug it into some stuff in the house. I'm thinking if we get power outages and that, for short periods of time, I could plug it into some of this stuff. I won't be plugging it into things like household fridges and that, but my thinking on that is for another day. I've got quite, being brought up in the country, I've got quite well tested thinking on how to use power in a power outage. Anyway, that's that bit. And of course up here you've got the old cigar or cigarette lighter, the car output for 12 volts. Very, very handy, very handy. And that seems to be it. So far so good. Oh no, there's something missing, isn't there? You're all jumping up and down going, the R600 is meant to have 2 ports here, 2 12 volt ports. This model doesn't have it. And I'm not worried. The reason being is I don't have anything that has that type of port. In fact, that's a very old-fashioned port. And if I did have something, I could use an adapter from the cigar port. But I'm quite happy these ports aren't there. This will probably be a more advanced model. I'm quite happy with it so far. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to test it out further. I'm going to do a wee video of what happened when I was car charging it. The unit doesn't come with a car charging cable, or maybe that was an oversight. Maybe when they packaged everything up, that was an oversight. So I'll add that into the video. I'll also add in the solar panels. They're quite interesting. The reason I'm not doing that today is they sent me the wrong cable. They sent me an Anderson connector, and as you know, this isn't an Anderson connector, so I'm having to get the adapter. Fair dues, you know, mistakes happen. That's probably in the packaging. So once we get that video made, we'll put it all together and I'll do a summing up on it. I'm quite interested in this bit of kit. I'm going to give it a right test. It and me's going to become friends in the next couple of weeks. I'll see you when I've done all the tests. Well, we'll now test the car charger. Now the unit didn't turn up with a car charger, I had to buy one. But I'm not going to argue about that, because this will be one of the main ways of charging, especially if you're mobile and I going from one place to another, like you would camper vanning. And to be quite honest, you don't use much power unless you're doing something really silly. So running back and forward and charging it in the car or van is a good way of charging it. And I believe it's quite fast. Well, we'll find out, won't we? We're just about to have a wee bash at it. Anyway, here's the unit here. I'll get the car started. Now, we're going to take a wee run. I think it's around about 20 miles. There's the charger in there. Right, we'll plug it in. I've got one of these double charge units, reason being, that sounded interesting. There it came on. As you see, I'm at 64%, and I'm charging at, it's slowly building up. It goes up to just over the 100. Okay, I'll put that down on the floor so it doesn't fall. Now, we'll have another look while we're going. That's us covered just under 20 miles. And it's taken us about half an hour. It was a slow drive. We had a caravan in front of us for about 14 miles. I managed to keep my temper. Just. Anyway, let's look at this. Oh. Right, that's showing 86%. That's 22% it's charged in half an hour. I can't argue with that. That means by the time I get home it'll be nearly charged. So it's 22% in half an hour. 2.5 hours to charge it totally. That's about right, off the car. But who's just going to be running 20 mile? You know, if you're in a motorhome or a car, you're going to be able to recharge this, no bother whatsoever. There's not going to be a problem. So that's a pass. Okay, let's try the next thing. Today we're going to have a look at the solar panel that comes with the Allpowers R600. It's a 140 watt unit. Folds out, handle on the top, easy to carry. These are legs, and you see they fold out. In here is all the bits and pieces and we'll have a look at the bits and pieces. First thing you see is the warranty and all the bits and pieces telling you what to do. Handy place to keep it. Inside all the cables. This cable is for connecting to a car battery. These handy adapters, they go into quite a lot. One of the cables has got an Anderson fitting on it. That's used for joining cables up together, and a lot of the solar power generators use them. But this one uses a special adapter of their own, and it plugs in, but you can easily change things around. The other good thing is this wee box here. You can actually charge stuff right from the back of the solar panel. In there's two USBs outputs, and that's a C port. I've never saw that before. That is going to be really handy. Anyway, let's get everything set up and we'll give it a test. This is the solar panels unfolded. As you can see, there's 4 of them to make up the 140 watts. Nice little angle. It's 4 fold out legs. There's one there. And what I've done is I've set the panel up today. Now today is not very bright. In fact, it is not a good day at all. So what we're going to do is we are going to plug it in. That's it in. Now it's 61% at the moment, and we'll just leave it and see what happens. I couldn't have picked a worse day, but we're going to give it a try. Quite a neat little setup. A very overcast day. I'm not expecting much. Let's see what happens. Five and a half hours later. It's been a very dark day. The sort of day that we get in the winter here. It's been duller than normal. Totally cloud covered, and we've been lucky not to have showers. So it's not been a good day for sun. It's not been a very good day for solar panels, but let's see what's happened. Another look at our setup, and have a look on there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's up at 82%. That means that on a very dark day, in 5.5 hours it's charged 21%. To me, that is more than what I need. Allpowers R600. Well, I've given it a good test. At the beginning I showed you round it and what it's meant to do. So I went and tried it to see what it does do. And I've been quite impressed. I first took it on a camping expedition. Okay, the weather was very, very bad, so it was all about drawing power. I had a PC running for most of the time, and I came back where I had used maybe 40 odd %, and it did everything well. When I got home, I charged up all my gear. I charged all my lights, my radios, and anything else that needed charging, my phone. Yeah, it did the job, did everything that I needed. And that's the important thing, it's what you need. I then had to wait a wee while because I'd made a mistake in the packing and didn't send me the cables for charging in the car or the right cable for using the solar panels. Good solar panels, by the way, I've just used them. When I got everything together, the first thing I tried was I took it out in the car, and in I drove about just over 22 miles in half an hour, and the battery had recharged by a good 20%. Now that is very good, very fast charging. That's most important. I was really enamoured with that because that's a good way to charge up any battery, is to plug it into the car. So that was a success. And today I've had the solar panels up. Now today, as you'll have saw for that part of the video, the weather was what we say in Scotland, dreich. It was very, very dull. And in 5.5 hours we charged it 21%. Now some people might go, oh no, that is more than this, and that's the worst possible day, and it charges 21% in 5.5 hours. If I'd got out of my bed earlier, it would have been charged a good 30%. Okay, to sum up, the usage of the Allpowers R600, very impressed. Especially, I use it in the house all the time. It's in the corner there. I charge my phone on the Wi-Fi. It says fiddling about trying to get the connector in. And all the connectors on this are either C port or USB. Great, fantastic. You know, what more do you need? In an emergency, this would do me fine. An emergency, by the way, I'll get an argument for these specialised preppers and off-gridders. I was brought up in a farm cottage and we didn't have electricity. We had paraffin lamps, and my mother, God rest her soul, she done all the cooking on a range, an open fire. That's what we had. So I'm used to the emergency situation. And this will do fine, if you think. Now I know people are saying, oh, if I've got an electric blanket, it wouldn't run it. 12 volt electric blanket draws 40 amps, 40 watts. You'll get about 6-7 hours out of one of these. But what do you need an electric blanket for? Get a decent sleeping bag. A duvet, you're not going to need. You know, do you need? And the same with a number of other things. This will do your lighting, it'll keep your radio running, it'll keep your phone running. You didn't need it. Yes, it will run because it'll do 600 watts, probably a lot higher. And if you overstrain the 240 volts, it just knocks out. You reset it. And that's a good thing. A lot of these other units don't have the reset. But running a fridge and freezer, do you need to run your fridge and freezer all the time? Anybody knows, well, we knew, that in the morning you got the food out you were going to use that day, and that was the last time you went into the freezer or the fridge. And if you work your fridge like that, if it goes out, the food will be fresh or undamaged for 2 or 3 days. Now, the last time we had a power cut here, by the way, last time we had a bad one, we got a lot of wee ones lasting a couple of hours. This does well, dear love. Let's see, 2.5 days we went. Just think what you're doing, and this will see you through. It's a good wee unit, the price is good, and it's got everything you need to use. So I'm giving it the thumbs up. That's the Allpowers R600. Look around on the internet. Not just me, there's some guys, everybody said it's a good unit. There's a couple of guys I've had it in bits who know what they're doing. And I'll tell you, I was watching them, there's nobody wrote anything bad about it. So, cheap, that's the wrong word. It's value for money. And it does the job. So have a good look at it. I think it's alright. See what you think. See you later.